Happy Monday, beautiful people, and Happy New Year. This is the first live of the new year, 2025. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to Conversations with Cree. I'm so happy to be back here, January 2025. Last year was a year I started this platform, and it was October of 2024, and I didn't think or know if I would continue, but here I am in the new year. This is my first live for 2025, and the topic is stepping out on faith. I think I'm going to wait just a little bit to let some people join us, because right now it's just me, myself, and I. Oh, I see one person to join. So once again, Happy New Year. We made it to January 2025. This is my first live for 2025 in the new year. I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for joining me. Welcome to Conversations with Cree. And like I just said, the first live of 2025 is going to be, and the topic is going to be stepping out on faith. And we need a lot of that right now today with how the world is going. We got to, stay faithful and believing that everything will be okay. So the scripture of the week for today is coming from Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. I'm going to read that one more time. It's from Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Now, what that scripture means to me is doing something without knowing the how. Believing that whatever you do will be successful as long as you're giving 100% and being consistent. Everything will work out, trusting that if God led you to it, then He will bring you through it. And that's something I truly believe in. If God has put something on your heart or led you, to a path to start something, then we have to have faith that everything will work out and not be fearful, because that's not of God. God allows certain things to happen in our lives so we can overcome them and we can be of service to others. We all should be helping one another. And that's why I started this platform, Conversations with Cree, is to tell my story, but in the hopes that someone that needs to hear this story can, take from what I've been through, or know that they're not alone and not the only person that's ever been through some of the things that we all have been through. And, if that's going to help the next person, then that's why I'm doing this. Not for anything personal gain or not to gain any type of celebrity. This is really a platform for me to be able to get in front of more people, to be able to open up, lines of communication. That's why it's called Conversations with Cree, that we can get on here and have conversations about some things or all the things that, impact us daily as humans, as women, just as individuals, Black Americans, in this country, what's going on right now, but won't speak too much on that. But just being faithful and having faith that everything will work out as long as you're doing the work. Now, you can't think that things will happen or work out for you if you're just sitting there and not doing anything. But as long as you're working towards a goal, trying to be your best self every single day, then things will definitely work out. And I am proof of that. And I only speak on things that I have knowledge of because I have experienced it, where God has blessed me to be able to overcome and do certain things, such as what I'm doing today. Being in a position where I have overcome so many things that now I can sit and tell my stories and, be able to guide other people that want the guidance in the direction of healing or just living a better life every single day. So one thing that I always do, and I've learned to do, it's not something I did all the time, But now I've learned that I gotta always practice gratitude every single day, for everything that I have in my life, all the things that, I mean, as simple as it's cold outside right now where we live. It's 0 degrees, and I'm just so thankful to be able to have a home and have heat and not be in a position where I'm, homeless, or I'm living on the street, or have to live in my car. And because that's so many people's story as well. So I don't take this for granted at all. So every single day, I'm always looking for where I can be thankful. And even when I start to think about the things that I want to accomplish that maybe has not happened yet, or I'm starting to feel a certain type of way, practicing gratitude brings me back up. It's really a great tool in order to, practice, being positive every single day, to look at what your blessings are, because we all can look and see where things have happened in our life, or maybe we're feeling like, woe is me. But honestly, practicing gratitude and looking at your blessings really help you be able to overcome, those moments when you're feeling like nothing is going right, that you just can't get a break. But believe me, it's so many people going through so many things, and there's someone that has it worse, or is going through something bigger than what you are at the time. So that's something that I just really helped me in my day-to-day, is to be able to look at what I have accomplished, where I'm at today. And it's just very helpful when you get in those little modes. Being strong during hard times. We have a lot of hard times living this life, and that's just what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. It's a lot of things going on in the world. So many people have lost so much recently with the devastations in LA, with the fires, or even before that happened, the hurricanes, the flooding, and there's so many more things that I can name. But just trying to be strong during these hard times, just doing what you can do, because what you can't do, you have no control over that. And there's no need to be stressing and worrying, because that's not going to change the situation. It's just always looking to a higher power, or having a support system, if you do have that, to lean on those people that's going to be there to help you. And it's unfortunate that everybody do not have a support system, and that's just how it is. But that's where we as people, we're going to be the light, and we're going to help people where we see that they need help, whether they ask for it or not. Just putting yourself out there to know, so they know that you are there for them if need be. And having faith in everyday life is what we're talking about, because having faith is the biggest tool, the biggest weapon you can have against the evil that's in the world today. You got to have faith and believe that what it is that you're working towards is possible, because it's so many that just don't believe that they can have the life that they desire, whether it's because of their background, how they was brought into the world, maybe some of the things they've done in their lives in the past, or just people have told them that you can't do this because you're not worthy, you don't, you just can't. So many people deal with that low self-esteem, or image, that they can't accomplish what they want to, because they just feel like it's not for them, it'll never be possible. But that's not true. We just got to figure out the steps of getting there and changing things in your life. If you are dealing with some hardships, you can look at those hardships and see, is there something you can do to change it? It's really a choice. And as individuals, we have the choice to stay stuck because of our situations, or because of our background, because of our traumas, or we can do the work to heal. I know everyone does not have the means to get therapy, because that's either you got to pay for it, have a good insurance policy, health insurance. And but that's another thing I'm gonna talk about in one of these lives, is life insurance policies, something that a lot of us as Black people do not have or don't believe in. But I only think that's the case because we're not educated. So that's something I definitely want to touch bases on, and kind of do a live on, because it's very important to have those things in place for when that time comes, so we can set our families up instead of leaving them worse off, because they have to take care of us in when we're not here anymore. But that's a whole other topic. But just having faith every day that things can be better and that they will get better. Having faith in God, and one of the main things with having faith in God to do what he said he will do is just everything is in God's timing. And a lot of times that's the worst part for us, because we just can't seem to wait or just trust that it will happen in the right time. Especially when you're going through something so hard or so great, you just Lord, when is this is going to be over, when I'm going to get the things I'm praying for. But we have to be faithful and have patience and wait on the Lord, because it's always in his timing, and it's not for us to understand. And anybody that I speak to about that, they always say, well, goodness, I'm tired of waiting. It's always on his time. But because when we also want to know the how things are going to come about, how is this going to happen, how is this going to work for me, we as people want to know the path to getting to where we want to go. But a lot of times we can't know that information, because if we knew exactly how it will go, we probably wouldn't want to do it anymore, because sometimes the path to getting to where we want to be and getting to those accomplishments is not easy. So if we seen what it took to get there, we probably be like, no, that's okay, I don't want to do that no more. But God, he don't want us to be discouraged, but he's also, while we're going on that path, the things that we're doing and overcoming is preparing us for what it is that we are asking for. And a lot of times if we get those things too soon, then it just would not be successful. It would not work out, and he don't want that. So once we make it through that storm or whatever situations that we're going through, and make it to the point where we have been praying for, we can look back and see what the path was and why it had to happen that way, because we're being prepared. So one of the main things about having faith is you cannot worry. Faith and worry do not go together. It's one or the other. If you're worrying, then that means you don't have faith. So I was a person that in the past would worry about things a lot. Be stressed out about situations, but I'm not that person anymore today. Don't get me wrong. It's things that happen that kind of, I will get in my feelings, or I might revert back a little bit, but I always come back to my senses and say, I can't worry, I can't stress, because that's not going to help the situation. It's not going to help me get through what I'm going through. So having faith in that, things will work out, and that things will, be what it is that you've been praying for. You have to have faith in those things. You can't have faith and be fearful. Faith and fear definitely don't go together. Fear is our worst enemy, a lot of us, because fear stops so many people from accomplishing goals that they have set out for themselves, just in their life period. Just fear of failure, fear of just rejection, fear of not being able to do what it is that you're trying to do. Fear has been a big part of my life for so long. It's been moments in time where I did conquer fear and stepped out of my comfort zone and did things and was very successful with it. But one of the main things, it took me so long to get on this platform, over a year, because it was just the fear of the unknown. Would I be successful? What does that look like? Who wants to hear from me? I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look on camera. This is nothing that I ever wanted to do. But God put that on my heart, was that this is what I should be doing, because I can help people. I can tell my story, and I can, help others to overcome what they're been through. So that was the purpose of it. So with all that being said, I finally got the courage and overcame fear to start this platform, Conversations with Cree. And here we are. The first one was in October, and now it's January. So I plan to continue this, and it's gonna look different as time go on, I understand, but I'm definitely just gonna get on here every Monday, and do what it is that God wants me to do. And the people that, you know, find these videos, or whether they're on my live or they find the videos later, it will hopefully bless them in a way where they can see my sincerity in the things that I'm sharing and what I want to do to help. And that's all I can do. And there's no fear there for me anymore, because I know God has me. He told me to do this, so I understand that it will be helpful or a blessing to the next person, whoever that may be. So I'm going to continue this. There's no fear anymore. It's just me getting on here doing what it is that I supposed to do. Having faith brings positive results. It's almost like the difference of being negative and being positive. If you're always negative about things, you're always thinking about what could go wrong, just what negativity is. Nothing never comes good from being negative, being in a negative space, always just talking about negative things. That is just not good and doesn't help anyone. Always trying to be positive no matter what's going on. And I know that's hard, especially when you're going through something, or if you're trying to be positive and help other people and they kind of like, I don't want to hear that right now because I'm going through what I'm going through. What you are saying really not helping me. And you know, if it comes to that, then you just got to back off. But the people that need to hear it or want to hear it, they will find you. And so you just always try to strive to be the best person you can be in every moment. Always doing the right things, always being helpful, always, you know, just trying to be high vibrational. With me, I'm always mostly in a good mood or trying to be positive. Now I'm human, so that's not every single day for me, but I don't stay there. I have found ways to bring myself back up when I'm, you know, not in the positive mode, such as listening to music, positive affirmations. Listening, like, music is great. Music, I love music. That's something that I've always loved. So if I'm not in the best mood, I would turn on music. If it's just R&B or just some of my spiritual music, my worship music, I have so many music, so many types of music that I can go to that will put me in a better mood. Just going and looking at positive information online, looking at photos of my family or from vacation when I was able to go, like beautiful scenery. We went to the botanical gardens last summer, and so sometimes I would just bring those pictures up that I took, and that really helps me get in a better mood or takes my mind off of things where I'm kind of like going through it, if that's the case. But just being positive and living in a positive mindset is so much better than the alternative. And it can be contagious too, because when you're changing and you're practicing these things and you're around other people, they will draw from you. They will see like, oh my goodness, she's always in a good mood. No matter what's going on, she always got good things. She's always smiling. She's always so pleasant. It does help. Live a life of faith, meaning believing in things you can't see, you can't feel, or you can't touch. That's really what faith is the thing is not present, and you can only think about it and know that it's going to happen. It's having faith to have things sight unseen, to just know that it's going to happen because you're doing what it is that you need to do to have that, you know, success, to pretty much make the things come about. You're not just sitting here and just wishing and hoping and praying. You're actually doing the work. You're being the best person you can be. You're showing up as your best self. You're helping people when they're in need, where you can help, and that's all you can do. And through so many times in my life, it has been proven that it works. It works because it has worked for me. It really has. Just with so many things I just never thought was possible or would never come to an end. And it's something I'm still praying about and having faith about. But I've learned that when it comes to individuals, me as a person, I can't do anything about what somebody else is going to do or not going to do. I can help them, and then when they don't want my help anymore, then I have to back up. I have to set my boundaries and let them do what they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, people have their own will, and they have to do their own work, especially when it comes to healing. And that's something I really had to learn the hard way. And it took me many, many years, because someone I love so very much, I was trying to help them, but then it just became evident that no matter what I do, that person or those people have to do the work on their own. They have to make it up in their mind that they want to be different, they want different, so they will do different. But until then, it's nothing I can do. I've showed up, they know I love them, and that's it. That's all I can do, and just continue to pray for them. And that's what I do every single day. What stepping out on faith looked like for me. So speaking of stepping out on faith, I wanted to use myself as an example of what that looks like. So I'm gonna go down the timeline of me stepping out on faith when it came to my jobs, my careers, and things that I've done up until this point to get me to where I am now. So it wasn't my first job, but a job that I worked through high school, and also for like a year and a half after graduating, after I had my daughter, was me working at Walgreens drugstore. And I worked there from the time, I think my sophomore year. Yeah, it was my sophomore year in high school up until my senior year in high school. Then I left for a year. But the first part of faith, which I didn't realize back then, in me just doing the work, was that I wanted this job so bad at this Walgreens because it was so close to my house, and I didn't want to work in fast food per se, so I felt like that was like the best fit for me. But when I would go and try to gain employment, the manager at the time was asking me like what my experiences was, like, do you have experience on the cash register? And I used to be like, no. I was hoping that, I could get hired and then I would learn when you hire me. And he was just like, well, I need you to have some type of experience before I can hire you. And I'm just like, oh man. So I ended up working at a Popeyes over the summer, out of town in Michigan, and that gave me experience on the cash register. So once the summer was over, I came back and I was just all excited, and I went and seen him, and I'm like, listen, I got experience now, so can you hire me? Can you give me a job? And then he was like, oh, okay. So he was so impressed that I was so persistent that he gave me a job. So that was, me getting the job at Walgreens. And that was a learning experience. And I worked through high school. Like I said, I left my senior year, but then I had to return after, because I had my daughter, and then I had to work. So I didn't go away to school or anything. But I went back and I was able to get hired back in. But at this point, it was different management and everything, which was different from before, because I really liked my manager originally. But I, decided to go ahead and go back to Walgreens, and it was just a job. It really wasn't nothing that I enjoyed doing. And it was an opportunity that was presented to me while I was working, that I could have became part of the pharmacy team. The manager approached me and he said that they had an opening, which they never really have, and he was interested in me taking that position. But I had to be released by my store manager because it was 2 different departments, and so I can go start training. But my manager never released me because he was being selfish, and he didn't want to let me go because I was such a good worker. And at that point, they was doing inventory, and that was a big time of year for the store, for the manager. So he just dragged his feet to the pharmacy manager, could not hold the spot anymore, so he had to fill it. And I was just so crushed. And that was like my first experience of just feeling like, dang, that was supposed to be my opportunity. This guy, he was out of my control. He wouldn't release me. And the other guy couldn't go over his, step on his feet. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to be here too much longer. But that guy ended up leaving. And then another manager came in, and he just was not a people person. He didn't know nothing about what family was, because he had no kids. He was a single man, and everything was about that job for him. So it was so many things I was asking of him. And like I said, I was a great worker. I was the head cashier. I trained every cashier that came in there. I can run every department. I could stock. So I was an asset. I could do everything. And with that being said, it really didn't help me though, because these people did not want to release me or give me what I was asking for. So at that point, I had to step out on faith, and I decided that I was going to apply to work at a casino, because I had heard that, it was more money, and I just needed to get out that environment. So I ended up buying me a car, and I didn't start driving until I was in my 20s, and I had never driven on the highway like that. But I had to step out on faith to know that if I wanted to advance and elevate, I had to do something different, because like I said before, the Walgreens is right by my house, so I didn't really have to have a car. I could walk to work. But then I was like, I gotta get a car because I need to go do better. So that's what I did. I got me a car. I ended up getting an interview, and I got the job at the casino, and then I left Walgreens. So from the casino, I was a cage cashier starting out, and that job was just what it was. But it was more money, it was more stability, better benefits. I had benefits, so I was happy with that for the time being. But then someone presented to me that I can have even better opportunity, because they had been working at another casino, and they had classes coming up, and they told me, you need to go ahead and apply, because this is a better opportunity, and you will make so much more money. And I was like, okay, cool. But at the time that she told me about the opportunity, I was on leave to have my second daughter. So I was close to having her, or I had just had her, something like that. I went to interview. The baby was very small. She wasn't no older than maybe 4 weeks when I did the interview. And again, stepping out on faith, hoping that, things will be better for me. But it's always so uncomfortable when you do it, but you have to do it. So the real faith part of this story is that I got the job, or I got into the class. And how this works is you get into the class, and once you learn the game and everything, you have to audition. A job is not guaranteed. You have to pass the audition, and then they offer you employment. So at this point, where I'm going through the class, which is a Monday through Friday thing, it's time for me to go back to my other job, because my time is up from my maternity leave. But the problem is I can't do both. I have to either quit the class and go back to work, because that's how I'm going to make money right now, which they were paying us, but it wasn't a lot of money. Or I can say forget the job and stay in this class with the hopes that I pass the audition and they offer me a position. So at this time, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, Lord. And I wasn't doing that great in the class. I'm just going to say I was catching on, but I had never dealt poker. I never knew nothing about this card game. So I was learning everything from scratch. So I had to make the decision that would be a better situation if I get this job and get this position. So I quit my job that I was supposed to go back to, and I stayed in that class, and I just worked my butt off, and I was able to secure a position because I passed the audition and they offered me a job. But if I would have let fear get in the way, I would have went back to where I was and where I was not happy at. But me stepping out on faith and believing God for this opportunity and just working my butt off, I was able to get this position as a poker dealer, and that was just a lot more money. It really was a great amount of money that I ended up making while being a poker dealer. It was not the easiest thing to do. I can tell you, it was very uncomfortable. The people were mean, and this is just unfamiliar. But once I really got my footing, it ended up being okay. The biggest part of that story is that's how I met my husband. So there you go. God is good. So after a while of, I dealt poker for about 10, 11 years. But for a while, it was just like, this environment is so negative, and just the way the casino works. But both of us being in the casino, it just wasn't really a great place to be when it came to raising a family. Even though we made it work, we would, make our schedules where I worked midnights. That's another thing. I worked midnights the whole entire time I was a poker dealer. And that's not easy having children, but that was the best case scenario money wise, but also for me being able to be available when they had things at school. If I had to be available, if they, someone called me, I may be tired, but I was not working. So I did that for that amount of time. But then it was just like, it got to be something better. Like, I want to be doing something different. I need to be at home more with my children. So that's when I decided, oh, I'm gonna pursue cosmetology school. And then I realized that I wanted to go to cosmetology school in high school, but it did not work out then. I told that story on the last live, so if y'all didn't get it, go back and watch. So I tried about 2 different times to pursue cosmetology school, but it just didn't work out that time. The timing was off. I could not get financial aid because the money I was making, and I wasn't going to take a loan and have to pay out of pocket, so I passed on 2 different occasions. But then another opportunity presented itself. It was a person who used to come and play poker. He offered me an opportunity to do a work with him. He ran an insurance office for a company, and he thought that I had the personality that would be good for what he did. So in that particular time, I was just like, I don't know, like, in order for me to do this, I don't want to do both, and I can't do both for real with my schedule. So I had to make a decision again that I would leave poker and go pursue doing this other endeavor, which was in the insurance business with this guy that I knew from the dealing to him. And I once again prayed about it and felt like, well, this is my opportunity to leave the casino. And I feel like from what he was telling me, it could be successful. I can make a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, what I was doing, I was actually a life insurance agent, and I really enjoyed what I was doing. But you have to be set up properly in order to be successful in a business like that. You can't just not jump into that profession without a foundation, because you are building your books, and it's 100% commission. So I went from making guaranteed money to 100% commission, and that was hard. That was real hard. I did it for that year, but then after that year, I'm just like, God, like, you know what? I love helping people. I love that I get to get in front of people and talk to them about insurance and get them set up and get them protected. But just the way the company or that particular office is being ran, it just did not sit well with me. But also, I wanted to do something that was more geared towards a passion of mine. And I'm like, if I'm going to work this hard doing this, and now that I know I can be an independent contractor and I'm making my own money, I went and pursued cosmetology again. But the difference this time, third time's a charm, God said it's time. So everything fell in place. When I say the program that I got into was perfect for my lifestyle, it was Monday through Friday, no weekends. We had 2 breaks a year, and financial aid, I was able to get a $10,000 grant and financial aid, and it just was perfect. Everything just worked out. I completed the program in 11 months, and I received my cosmetology license June of 2016. So I want to share that story to tell you all, yes, you step out on faith and you believe that you can be successful as long as you're doing what it is you're supposed to do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but the reward is bigger than what you're going through at the time. It really is. But also timing, when I was just speaking earlier about God's timing, some things we want just will not happen when we want it, because it's not time. I tried, like I said, my senior year in high school to go to a program for cosmetology. It did not work out. I tried again 2 different times while I was dealing. It would not work out. But when it was time, when God said you're ready, because I had that experience of getting in front of people and building relationships with people, that was going to help me in my career where I was pursuing with cosmetology, because you have to build your books. You have to build clientele. You got to have people to be successful as clients. So it worked out. So like I said, I received my license, and I started working at a private owned salon, and that was okay, but it wasn't a good fit, that particular salon, for me as a new person coming out of school, because I needed somewhere where I could build and have walk-ins, and that salon just wasn't that. So I ended up leaving there, and then I went and worked at JCPenney salon. Now JCPenney salon was okay. It wasn't the best location because it wasn't a lot of walk-ins there either, but it was more than at the private salon. But one thing I gained from working at this private salon, I mean this JCPenney salon, was that I learned product knowledge. They had free classes, continuing education classes, and I met other people that I'm still in communication with to this day. But that helped me build in other ways. So when it was time for me to just to go off on my own, which I've now been doing since 2017, I had knowledge in a way I wouldn't have had if I just would have started out just completely trying to be independent, when I first got out of cosmetology school. But that took faith too, because my clientele started to build at home more than it was at that particular salon. So I had to make a decision: either I'm going to stay doing both, or I'm going to go where the demand is, which was being at home. So now I've been working completely independent since 2017, and it's been wonderful. Like, it's been ups and downs, of course, and that's the life of an entrepreneur. But I am so thankful and so grateful that I've been able to do this and meet so many wonderful people and my clients, and just be able to help people. But now it's shifting again. I'm still, accepting clients, and I'm still doing my hair business. That's something that's still ongoing. But now I'm getting a call to help people in a different way, which I've already been doing. When people sit in my chair, we talk and we heal and we laugh and we just, talk about things that sometimes they feel like they can't talk about, or they never had the outlet to talk about, which I like to call Cree time. When you come get your hair done, it's more than just getting your hair done. You're getting the whole experience. And with that being said, now I wanted to take that to the next level, because I love to help people that way. And back in 2012, I did start pursuing my degree in psychology at South Suburban College. But back then it was just a lot on my plate. I still had young children. I still was working. So it just wasn't the right time. But I always felt like at the time where I was not so busy with parenting, because now all my children are of age, except for our last one. She'll be 16 very soon. But now I have more time to pursue things for me. And one of the things that I've been going back and forth on for the longest is, will I go back to school and pursue a degree? So that's something that I had promised myself, that I would go back and continue that and finish it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've been in the process of, getting more information about, what it's going to take to finish this degree that I started. But that's, again, me stepping out on faith and listening to what it is that God has for me. Because I think with me pursuing this degree, I will be able to get in rooms and have opportunities where it's going to help me be able to do what I'm doing now, but at a bigger level and on a bigger scale, to be able to, build my next endeavor, which will be maybe a business or a private practice, where it comes to being a therapist or someone. One thing that I'm really passionate about is helping people through grief, and just learning to forgive yourself and move forward in your life, and know that you can still be successful no matter what your past look like, no matter what traumas you've had. And one group of people that I'm very passionate about is caregivers, or there's people who have sacrificed so much of them in their lives to be able to help their loved ones, and to learn how to set boundaries and know that you're doing everything that you can, but you shouldn't lose yourself with helping your loved ones or being that person for them. You need to learn how to cultivate self-love, learn to practice self-care, and just do things for you. Set those boundaries. And I talk to so many women that has lost themselves over time with being everything for everyone except for themselves. And I have to be honest, I was in that boat. I was one of those people that did everything for everyone, put everyone before myself, until I decided I needed to make sure I was okay, so I can help these people that I love and continue to show up in the best form that I could. Because other than that, I wasn't gonna be no good to no one. So since then, I've went to therapy. I've started to um, practice self-care, and that looks different for everyone. Self-care for me was getting massages, taking vacations, working out, which I have gotten back to because I kind of fell off a little bit, but I'm back to it. But I'm having grace with myself. I'm not putting so much pressure on myself about how many pounds I'm going to lose. It's about a lifestyle, and I'm just trying to be consistently active so that I can be healthy. And that's another thing. Health is our wealth. We have to take care of ourselves. There's so many people out here that just, sick and young. I'm talking about 40. I'm 43. So people, I've known people in their 40s, barely made it to their 40s, that's not here anymore because they died from heart issues. They died from stroke, high blood pressure, just all these things that at our age we should not be dealing with. So I really want to tell people to take your health seriously. Make some better decisions in your eating. Go to the doctor if you can to get your checkups. Just go work out. Drink your water. Take vitamins. Eat your fruits and vegetables, and just in moderation. Everybody can't be these clean, vegan, eating people, because it's just not going to happen. Like for me, probably won't, I ain't going to say ever, but vegan, probably won't work for me. But I do make better decisions with what I'm putting in my body and try to be active as much as I can and just be consistent with that. But like I said, so stepping out on faith through my careers and what that looked like was me really trusting God and really having faith and doing the work that, if I'm doing this, then I have to be successful. I have to be successful because I'm doing it. As long as you're showing up for yourself every single day, like I said, practicing being positive, practicing gratitude, thankful for what you have, because this don't have to be your story. There's so many people out here that's hurting right now, that have so much less than what you may have, that wish they had what you had. And we sit here and complain or just find things to be upset about, and we shouldn't be doing that. I know everybody's on a different path when it comes to what they believe in, whether it's God or it's a lot of different beliefs now with spirituality. I not trying to push anything or anyone. I can only speak on what has been my experience, and for me, God is real. God has been with me my entire life, and if it wasn't for him, I would not be here. Let's just look over my life and the things that he's brought me through, and the things that could have been. My life could have been so different, but it's not, because of him. And now that I know these things, I'm living my life to give back and to show other people what's possible if you just allow him in. It's a choice and it's a decision. And since I've done that, my life has been so good, only because I have so much peace. I don't worry, I don't stress about things, little things, because I know I'm blessed. I know that as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm praying and I'm giving my life to God and he's here with me, it's nothing for me to fear. Nothing at all. I guess it's just the experience that you have to experience to know what I'm talking about. And I talk to other people that have their own experiences, and it's all the same. It's all the same. God met them in their darkest place and brought them through because they asked him to. It's a choice. It's a choice. So I just hope that, with this platform, I can continue having these conversations. I have more people chiming in where we can talk about things. There'll be different topics. Like I said, I'm going to share more of my life. I'm going to share some of my journal entries. At one point, I will have people on here with me. We can talk about different things. I see I have some more people in here. Do anybody want to say hi or introduce themselves? Let me know you're here. And if you don't, that's okay, because I know people get shy. But I hope y'all can chat. I'm not sure, because sometimes I be, acting up. But yeah. Let me see. I touched on everything. Oh, speaking of, I have been wanting to tell this story, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it since I'm on here. But speaking of the healthy lifestyle, and just doing better, it was a year ago that I had a scary experience But even through that, God gets the glory, because I promise you, He is so good. So about this time last year, we were coming back from, oh, thank you. We was coming back from a cruise. We had a 7-day cruise, and it was just so beautiful. All the destinations were somewhere in Mexico. I think it was Cozumel. um, I don't remember where else. Cozumel, I don't know, maybe my husband can help me out. But anyway, it was 3 locations that we stopped in Mexico, but it was very, very fun and so relaxing. We had a great job. I mean, we had a great time, and time spent with family. So we made it back from the cruise, and that day that we got back, I had scheduled or bought tickets to go see Jodeci, because they was gonna be at the Horseshoe, and I had been wanting to see them. They had just really gotten back to touring again, and they was one of my favorite groups ever when I was growing up. So people had said they had been doing a good job. So I was like, okay, I want to see them. I want to see them. So I'm like, I'm gonna get these tickets. So my husband was like, why would you get the tickets when we come back? That's just doing too much. And I'm like, but that's the only day they're gonna be there. I don't want to miss it. So I got the tickets, and I'm like, well, I'll take my daughter. So my oldest daughter, she really loves the type of music I love. So I'm like, we'll vibe out, we'll have a good time. But when we got back, it was just so cold. It was like 0, like today, like the weather we having now. That's the type of weather we was having. So when I made it home, I'm like, okay, you want to go? You ready to go? My daughter was like, Mom, I don't want to go anymore because it's cold outside. I don't want to go outside. And I'm like, you serious right now? So my husband's like, well, I'll go. It's cool. So we went to the Jodeci concert, and it was so fun. We had such a great time. It was just really a good vibe. Made it home. And now I don't remember what time we made it home, but okay, we went to Mahogany Bay, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. Yeah. But it was beautiful. We had a great time. Made it home. Went to the Jodeci concert. It was so much fun. Got home, got myself settled, went to bed. Was knocked out sleep. All of a sudden, a sharp pain went through my right side and woke me up in my sleep. And I'm just like, what was that? Like, oh my goodness. It actually startled me awake because it was just so painful. Then I'm like, well, maybe I just need to use the bathroom. Maybe, something going on gas related, because I just got off this cruise. Maybe I was eating too much and it just wasn't agreeing with me. So I'm just going to go use the bathroom and hopefully it'll be all right. So I go to the bathroom and no relief. It was still just like that pain was still kind of there. And I'm like, okay, what can this be? And I'm like, all right, well, let me try to do some other things and hopefully get some relief. Nothing I was trying was working. So my husband at this point hears me moving around. So he's a night owl. So he was like, what are you doing up? I thought you were sleeping. I'm like, yeah, I was, but I was woken up because I had this pain. But it's cool, I'm gonna try to figure this out. I'm sure it's just gas, and then it'll be fine. So he's like, all right, let me know if you need me. So at that point, I'm just really like, the pain is growing, but it's still kind of like, okay, it felt like a gas pocket. That's what it felt like originally. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. I started looking on Google, like, give me some home remedies so I can, try to get some relief quickly. So one of the remedies was sit in some hot water, hot bath, whatever, it can move it. Did that. I couldn't stay in the tub for 2 minutes. That's how much pain I was in. I couldn't sit still. So I'm like, all right, let me get up, got out the tub, went back in the room, and I'm just like, this not, giving me no relief. I'm not getting no type of relief. So then I called my husband back, like, yeah, this is like really painful, and it's really like moving. I don't know what this is, but I don't want to go to the hospital or anything, because I'm like, I don't want them to tell me that it's gas and I'm gonna be embarrassed up in there, like, just for this. But I'm like, I'll be all right. So I convinced him to not go to the hospital for like an hour after that. And then once I realized, like, yeah, this is not getting no better, it's actually getting worse. His mom was like, yeah, y'all need to go to the hospital. Don't go to no urgent care or anything. Go to the hospital. So we decide we're gonna go to the hospital. That drive to the hospital was the longest drive of my life. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I just know I was in so much pain. I couldn't sit still. I was in tears at this point, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is. And I just started calling on God and Jesus and everybody, like, please, like, I don't know what this is. I need to figure this out. So we make it to the hospital, and thank goodness it was nobody in the emergency room. I guess because it was so cold, I don't know. But I still had to go through the process of getting registered and doing all that crap. And I'm like, don't y'all see I'm over here almost dying? Like, why? That just won't take me to the back. So finally, they call me to the back. Get to the back. The nurse like, what's going on? What's your pain level? I'm like, it's a 10. I'm in a lot of pain. I don't know why. I just need some relief. That's all I kept saying. So once they assessed me and did all those things, he finally gave me some morphine. I swear to God, that morphine didn't do nothing for me. I was sitting there waiting, because usually I'm like, morphine, that's strong. I know that kicks in right away. I got no relief from that. Not one bit. And so they was like, okay, we're going to have you take some tests. We're going to do this test. We're going to do a CT scan. We're going to do ultrasound, all the above, so we can see what's going on. So they sent me down for the ultrasound. And the young lady has to do 2 different ultrasounds. And I'm on that table dying. And this lady, I swear, she was just taking her time. And I'm just like, what's taking so long? Are we almost done? Like, what do you got to do now? And she was like, well, I'm trying to see that you're moving. I'm like, because I'm in pain. At that point, I was just screaming. When I say, just Jesus, please help me. Like, I just need some relief. That's all I could say. And then at the end, when I see that she wasn't moved at all. These people at this hospital, I know this is what they deal with, but they need to get trained on some empathy. Because nobody, I swear, was even acting like I was in any type of pain. I'm like, am I crazy? Because I feel like I'm dying. These people just looking with a straight face, like, and I'm just like, all right. So she finished what she was doing finally, because I was able to try to just sit still so she can get it done. And at that point, I'm like, can I please use the bathroom? I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and I had to wait for transportation. Because it was so slow, they only had one person working in transport. So I was laying there. But at that point, I started to get some relief. I was like, good, the morphine is working. This is the first time that I actually, was able to calm down and really feel no pain. So I kind of dozed off until they was able to get me back upstairs. Once I made it back upstairs, they took me into to get the CT scan. And thank goodness I had the relief, because I was not going to be able to sit in that machine with the type of pain I was having previous to that. But they, that took about 10 minutes. They were done. They brought me back. The doctor or the nurse came back. It's like, okay, they got the results. He'll be back in here about 45 minutes to tell you what's going on. At that point, I'm feeling good. I ain't feeling no pain. I'm just relaxing. So doctor come in, and he just like, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm like, the pain has subsided. I think the medicine working. And he was like, nah. He was like, from how you came in here and the pain you was in, that morphine didn't do anything for you. You didn't get no relief. And I'm like, really? So he was like, what you have is you had a kidney stone. And I was like, a kidney stone? Like, oh my God. When I say y'all, that kidney stone, or however many it was, I feel like was almost the worst pain I ever experienced. But then somebody had to tell me that they heard it was like childbirth. They ain't never lied. That's basically the same pain I had when I was in labor with my first child, because the other 2 I didn't have labor. But with her, I was like, oh my God, like that's exactly what it felt like. And I just couldn't believe it. But I was just so thankful that I was only in the hospital. It wasn't a long time, but it passed while I was there. I think when I was downstairs, and that's what gave me my relief. So they ended up releasing me and gave me medicines, antibiotics and things like that to take. And when I got home, I was better. I had a little pain the next day, but nothing like that I had previously. And it's been a year. And at that point, I was like, I need to be drinking my water, because that's one of the things he said. He was like, you need to drink water, because they don't know exactly what caused it unless they can get it and test it. But whatever it is, the main thing, I wasn't drinking enough water from whatever I was consuming. So after that, I started drinking lots of water, trying to drink as much water as possible, and definitely getting back to my workouts and trying to be more thoughtful about what I was putting in my body. But when I say God is good, it's because that happened. I got to do everything that I wanted to do. I went on that 7-day cruise. We was in the airport. That kidney could have acted up, or that kidney stone could have happened while I was on those the ports from the cruise. It could have happened on the cruise. It could have happened on my way home on the plane. It could have happened while I was at the concert. It could have happened at all those times, but it did not. He waited until I was nice and snug in my bed and able to get the help and the care I needed, because it could have been so different. But I'm so thankful it wasn't. It didn't happen like that. But I just wanted to tell that story, because there's so many stories I can tell about how good God has been to me and what he has brought me through. So with that being said, y'all take care of yourselves and drink y'all water. But anyway, I'm actually going to end it here. I hope that you all enjoyed, and I will actually be on here again next Monday. I don't know the topic yet, but I'm hoping that I have more people to join, and I hope you all have a good evening and a great week. So make sure y'all join me next Monday, the same time in the same place. I will see y'all soon. Bye.